Yes, if I'm audible and visible, can you type yes in the chat box? Perfect. All right, thank you so much. How are you all doing? कैसे हैं सब लोग? Doing amazing. Welcome to day 2 of the Conscious Parenting Workshop. सबसे पहले before we start, बताएं कि सबने अपना homework किया कि नहीं? Yesterday, Nikhil sir gave us some homework. So if everybody has done it before getting him over here, I think we should check कि हम सब बच्चों ने homework किया है कि नहीं. Quickly type yes in the chat box if you have done the homework. There was some reflecting activity that he had given us. Yes, yes, yes. Wow, amazing. All right. So, before I get him on over here, I was just thinking about conscious parenting. Like, of course, to be very honest, कोई workshop करने से पहले हम उस पे थोड़ी सी ज्यादा पढ़ाई करना चालू कर लेते हैं कि यार ये है क्या. So, just to know a little bit more about it. And even after hearing what he was saying yesterday, I felt ki, isn't it that it's a common thing, not just for having a child and parent relationship, but these are all the points that he shared and the insights that he gave us are important for any relationship. And I had a very big takeaway yesterday, and that was that being authentic is the key for any relationship, whether it is a child and parent or whether it is anything at all, isn't it? So on that note, I think let's bring him on over here to learn something new again today. Welcome, Nikhil sir. I am not able to spotlight you. Okay, perfect. Yes.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me, Kashiji?
Yes, yes, yes. We can hear you. I am just trying to spotlight you. Backend team, can you help me with that, please? Perfect.
Are we good to go?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So hi everyone. Good evening, and again welcome back to day 2 of Conscious Parenting Workshop. Kashiji ne, I think since she asked, and a lot of you have answered that you really reflected on, the activity or the reflection activity that we gave yesterday as a homework, and I guess a lot of people said yes, and some people said that they could not attend the workshop yesterday. So don't worry, you have the recording with you. Please go through it, and you will be able to catch up with what we discussed yesterday. And as I said yesterday, that everything that we are going to discuss, we discussed yesterday, we are going to discuss today, and also in next 3 days. Everything is interconnected. So it is important that you go through those recordings. And when you come for the next workshop tomorrow, you are well versed with what we discussed yesterday and what we are discussing today. Now, let's just do a recap in terms of what we discussed yesterday. This was our day-wise plan that I briefed you about. This is what we intend to cover over these 5 days. But yeah, yesterday, what we did primarily is one, we kind of understood that, what many of us think of parenting today. Then we understood that, what are the kind of challenges that many of us are facing, whether they are behavioral related, whether they are academics related, whether they are future related, expectations related, and so on and so forth. So, what kind of challenges we are facing today as a parent. Now, then we discussed that to deal with those challenges, all of us are looking for answers. And I think that becomes the first action point for many of us. And what we learned yesterday is that it is not about looking for ready-made answers, but actually asking questions that why we are facing those challenges. And many of those questions we actually shared with you yesterday. And as I mentioned that, we are going to continue to kind of work and discuss, all those questions across these 5 days. So, the idea is to ask those questions and reflect. And while asking those questions and reflecting on those questions, we'll find that we have the answers to many of these challenges that we have with the parenting. And then we also understood, what does it mean to be a conscious parent? How does it help us? How does it help our children? How does it help, us as an individual? Because in this journey, as many of you said that, we also learn a lot. And conscious parenting, the beauty of conscious parenting is that it not only becomes a journey of having a blissful and joyful parenting journey, but also it is the transformation of self that we get out of this journey. So that is another thing that we learned yesterday. And then finally, the famous line that I keep saying, that we learned how to have or raise the children that we have and not the children that we want. So that is where we ended. And then we gave the activity for today, which is what we are going to cover. So as we go along, what we are going to cover today in day two, your reflection of what we gave you as a homework yesterday will come handy. So please keep your reflections ready as and when we reach those points during the course of day two activities. We will ask you about them. So today, what we are going to cover, as we mentioned yesterday again, is let's understand what are these conditioning and biases. And if we understand them, then definitely we'll find the way to not pass them to our children and decide their life. Second is, this quest to do the best for my child. What is it doing to ourselves and our children and our relationship with the children? So that is what we will discuss today. And the third one is, why do we have expectations from children? And what does it mean? What kind of challenges it create to us? And all those problems that we discussed yesterday, it manifests into many of those problems. So that is what we are going to discuss as part of day two activity today. So let's move on. Now, as I mentioned that, this is what, we are going to cover today. Now, the first thing to start with the conditioning and biases. Now, before I kind of move forward, I wanted to start with the story, which, I experience quite frequently. And I'll probably take one of the examples here, where, one of the parent that I was counseling, his 13-year-old daughter wanted to kind of, go to the friend's house and, have their sleepover, because a lot of her friends were coming and they wanted to kind of have game night or whatever, pajama night. Nowadays, there are different terminologies for that. Now, definitely, given the safety concerns, which are very real in our country, every parent is concerned, and which is the true concern. But the father, when the daughter came to the father, and it actually came out of a kind of a discussion that was happening as part of the counseling sessions, where the daughter kind of was again having multiple challenges, not having the right confidence, very distracted, not kind of able to or ready to communicate with the parents, etc., etc. So, this particular episode that I'm sharing with you came out when, kind of we started discussing further or deeper. And, I'm just giving you one of the incidences. And we will relate it to how the conditioning kind of works in many of these cases. So, the father immediately, when the daughter came, the father immediately said, no, definitely not. You can't go for, sleepover to your friend's house. Now, when we were discussing further and I was probing a bit more, I asked him a lot of questions. And, while he was saying that, no, I don't agree. And, I just said, no, I'm not comfortable, sending my daughter. One of the things that came out is that there was a conditioning which kind of hidden that the friend's house or the community that the friend belonged to, he was not very comfortable with that community. Now, without kind of disclosing that conditioning to his daughter, he just said no, and it became one of the scenarios or reasons for the child to become what child became. Now, I just said one, but there are many of them like this. But I'm just sharing, one of them just to help you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, child will not understand a mere no. That you are saying no. Because for child it is fun, for child it is very natural to spend time with the children when other, and especially when we are already in the habit of comparing, and when other children are doing, and that again we'll discuss in day 3, how the comparison starts working for our children as well, unfortunately. So there are many reasons for the child to feel very low, and they were not in talking terms for a few days, because the child was very, very upset that father did not allow. Now, that kind of, while the father could not, and unfortunately could not discuss and share the concerns, and maybe they were right or wrong, but could openly discuss, and in the process probably understand that what is the underlying cause and what is the conditioning which is prevailing, which might be right, again wrong. We are not discussing whether it is right or wrong, but what we are discussing is that because of what conditioning actually that action came out, is something that he could not discuss with the daughter. And 13-year-old daughter is very apt age to kind of discuss all this and find out that what could be the right solution in that situation. But fathers just said mere no. Now, that is one scenario. I'll give you another scenario where, again, she had exam next day, and she was really in upset mood or different mood because of some reason. Maybe the hormonal changes which were happening, which happens at that age in girls, etc., etc. Now she was not able to study and focus, and father just shouted immediately and said, you have exam, and you have to. Now this conditioning again, father, while all of us will agree that tomorrow is exam and you have to study, but then the problem is that many of us have those bad moods, and there are challenges in terms of whether we are able to have right focus. Even with adults, most of the times and many times it happens that because of certain changes in moods, we are not able to kind of focus. And then immediately a father reacted, and it kind of that your exam is there, and for exam you have to study. There's no other choice. Without so it became kind of a very difficult conversation, and child just cried throughout the day, while definitely looking at the book, because she was forced to look at the book, but yeah, she was crying the whole day. Now this continues. There are many other stories which I can give you, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of reflect. Maybe these are the stories which you can relate to, or few of you can relate to. Now, I'll just move forward, and kind of go a little deeper in terms of understanding what are these biases and conditioning. This word that we are listening quite a few times, especially as part of conscious parenting. And as Kashish ji said in the beginning, very, very rightly, that it is not just about parenting. These conditioning and biases play a very huge role in every aspect of our life, in all the relationships that we have, in all the decisions that we make. And if we are aware of these conditionings, and more we are aware of these conditionings, more prudent we are in terms of exploring the right answer, rather than kind of just straight away kind of moving into a direction which is probably based on our conditioning. So first question that comes is that if I don't even know.
You, can you just brief them in Hindi as well? कुछ थोड़े से अगर आप हिंदी में brief दे देंगे तो यहाँ पे people are requesting for that.
Sorry, yesterday I was, I think, quite a lot more. I was talking in Hindi. Sorry, I just went into the flow. So I think story तो मैं repeat नहीं कर पाऊंगा, because then we will not be able to complete. But yeah, what we are trying to do, और हम क्या करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि हम जिन चीजों को सच मान लेते हैं, बट वो जरूरी नहीं है सच हैं, और अगर वो सच भी हैं या सही भी हैं, लेकिन वो हो सकता है सिर्फ हमारा सच हो, हमारा अपना सच हो, या हमारे लिए सही हो, हमारे बच्चों के लिए नहीं हो, या जिनसे हमारी दूसरी रिलेशनशिप है उनके लिए सही नहीं हो, ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है। तो इस चीज को हमेशा रिफ्लेक्ट करना फुल अवेयरनेस के साथ, इन एवरी एक्शन, इन एवरी कम्युनिकेशन दैट वी आर हैविंग, दैट हम जो सोच रहे हैं, जो कह रहे हैं, वो क्या सही है, क्या सच है। और दूसरी बात, अगर वो सच है भी या सही भी है, लेकिन वो क्या दूसरे के लिए भी सही है या सच है, क्योंकि हम लोग यूनिक आइडेंटिटी हैं, एंटिटीज हैं। हमारी एक यूनिक, हमारी सच्चाई और दूसरे की सच्चाई अलग हो सकती है। तो ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है कि हमारी सच्चाई क्या है, और वो सच्चाई दूसरे पे एप्लीकेबल नहीं है कि नहीं है। विदाउट बिफोर, इससे पहले कि हम उस सच्चाई को दूसरे पे थोपने की कोशिश करें, ये बहुत जरूरी है। और इसको सबसे पहला स्टेप है कि पहली बात जानना कि क्या है वो सच्चाई, या जिनको हमने सच्चाइयां मान लिया है, हो सकता है वो सच्चाई है ही नहीं, या वो सच्चाई है लेकिन वो फिर भी क्या है जो हमारे दिमाग में बहुत गढ़ कर चुकी हैं, बस चुकी हैं कि हाँ वो सच्चाइयां हैं। तो ये देखने की कोशिश हम करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। So let's go to this cartoon, which I kind of a friend of mine kind of helped me make. You know that English I think people can read, so I'll try to probably cover in Hindi. Father is saying that बेटा आई आपको ना जो आपकी क्लास में टॉपर आई है गर्ल पिछले साल, उससे फ्रेंडशिप करनी चाहिए। बेटी बोल रही है बट मेरे पास तो ऑलरेडी फ्रेंड है, मेरे बहुत अच्छे फ्रेंड हैं, बहुत अच्छे दोस्त हैं। मदर पीछे से फिर बोल रही है नो बेटा, इट्स आप शी इज परफेक्टली नाइस, इतना आप उससे बहुत कुछ सीख सकते हो। तो आप देखिए इस सिचुएशन में क्या हो रहा है और उसको थोड़ा रिफ्लेक्ट करने की कोशिश करिए। और मैं आपको एक एक्टिविटी अब देने वाला हूँ। सो द एक्टिविटी, एंड आई वुड रियली रिक्वेस्ट कि आप इस एक्टिविटी पे थोड़ा रिफ्लेक्ट करें, एंड विल गिव यू सम टाइम ऑल्सो, कि इस जो मैंने अभी ये आपको एक कार्टून दिखाया है, इसमें आपको क्या लगता है किस तरह की बायस माँ बाप के अंदर है? व्हाट काइंड ऑफ कंडीशनिंग दैट यू थिंक where this ins this initiative of kind of asking the daughter to become the friend of the topper of the batch is coming from. So one could be assumption कि आपकी assumption है कि बच्चे टॉपर बच्चे के साथ फ्रेंड बनेगी तो अच्छा होगा, या परसेप्शन है क्योंकि परसेप्शन क्रिएट हो गया है कि आपने कुछ ऐसा देखा सुना है, ऐसा आपको परसेप्शन क्रिएट हो गया है, या आपकी अपनी एक्सपीरियंस के बेस पे आप बोल रहे हैं, या कंपैरिजन कर रहे हैं क्योंकि आपको लगता है कि किसी के बच्चे के साथ उसके टॉपर के साथ बैच दोस्ती थी तो वो बहुत अच्छा किया उसके बच्चे ने, तो इसलिए आप कह रहे हैं कि मेरा बच्चा भी अगर टॉपर के साथ करेगा दोस्ती तो बहुत अच्छा करेगी या करेगा। या फिर एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि अगर हो सकता है मेरी बच्ची टॉपर के साथ फ्रेंडशिप कर ले तो बहुत अच्छा करेगी। तो आपको क्या लगता है इसमें से क्या क्या रीजन हो सकते हैं, कहाँ से ये बायस आ रही हो सकती है? जरा आप अपने कमेंट दीजिए प्लीज। Okay, some people are saying assumption, some people are saying expectation, perception, expectation. Largely, many people are seeing expectation, some people are seeing conditioning, expectation. So, a lot of people are seeing comparison, expectation, assumption. If you see here, and it is very profound to see that even in this group, nobody is saying that it is because of own experience. So, first of all, the point that I was trying to make here, that even in this case, it is not because somebody found that as a truth, an experience as a parent. I mean, when the parent was a child, and so सोचा कि बिल्कुल मेरा ये एक्सपीरियंस था तो इसलिए सही है और मैं अपने बच्चे को करूं। ये सब अजम्पशंस हैं या परसेप्शन है या कंपैरिजन है या एक्सपेक्टेशन है, एंड दैट इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट हैपेंस विद अस एज ए पेरेंट इन मेनी ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट वी डू विद आवर चिल्ड्रन, दैट वी इधर एज्यूम और परसेप्शन क्रिएट कर लेते हैं, या फिर कंपैरिजन के बेस पे डिसीजन ले लेते हैं, या एक्सपेक्टेशन के बेस पे कर लेते हैं। एंड दिस इज एग्जैक्टली दैट वी वांट टू कन्वे एज पार्ट ऑफ दिस वर्कशॉप, दैट प्लीज रिफ्लेक्ट। जब आप कुछ कह रहे हैं, कुछ बोल रहे हैं, तो वो कहाँ से आ रहा है, कैसे आ रहा है, क्या उसका सोर्स हो सकता है, क्या वो सही है कि नहीं है। एंड मैं फिर से रिपीट कर रहा हूँ, अगर वो सही भी है तो क्या वो आपके बच्चे के लिए सही है कि नहीं है, या दूसरे जिससे भी आपकी कोई रिलेशनशिप है उसके लिए सही है कि नहीं है, ये बहुत जरूरी है। So that is the activity we wanted to do. Thank you. I think a lot of people kind of gave the response, so really appreciate your responses, and let's move forward. Now, before yeah. So now let's take some examples. A lot of biases and conditionings are there in our life, and definitely, if I just keep listing them, you will find that they are like in thousands. हजारों हैं। आप डेफिनेटली गूगल करेंगे तो सब कंडीशनिंग, सब बायसेस जितनी भी टाइप की होती हैं सब मिल जाएगा आपको। तो इसलिए ये बड़ी बात नहीं है कि आपको उनके उनके टाइप पता है कि नहीं पता है, ये सब गूगल पे इंफॉर्मेशन है। आई थिंक व्हाट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट इज दैट हम समझें कि ये क्या होती हैं और हमारे अंदर कौन कौन सी हैं, ये जानना जरूरी है. बट या, टू हेल्प यू अंडरस्टैंड बेटर, आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू ब्रिंग सम एग्जांपल्स हियर. सो पहला एग्जांपल, जैसे हमने बोला कि फ्रेंड्स के बारे में, तो ऐसा एक और है कि सिमिलर बैकग्राउंड से है, तो वी आइडेंटिफाई फ्रेंड्स बेस्ड ऑन सिमिलर बैकग्राउंड. इट इज नॉट बिकॉज वी लाइक टू बी फ्रेंड विद समवन, but because there is someone who is from the similar background, let's be friend with. That is affinity or like me bias, कि ये मेरे जैसा है इसलिए अच्छा है मेरे लिए. दूसरा टाइप होती है कंफर्मेशन बायस, कि ये जो बच्चा है या बंदा है या फ्रेंड है या जो भी आदमी है, इसके पास, इसके यहाँ पे टैटू है, और ये टैटू ये है, ये जरूर कुछ हिप्पी टाइप का होगा या कुछ ऐसे होगा. मतलब उसमें कुछ भी हो सकता है. उससे आप टैटू के बेस पे कोई भी आप एक जजमेंट ले लेते हैं, और उससे एक बायस निकल के आती है कि आपको किस टैटू को देख के आपको क्या लगता है. एंड इट मे नॉट बी ट्रू, बिकॉज टैटू might be just for some reason, and there could be many other reasons. Now, similarly, are judging people based on their background, which we discussed in the previous section, or finding solutions, based on the past experience, which is again confirm कि पिछली बार मेरी प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्यूशन मैंने ऐसे किया था, तो इस बार भी यही होगा, या मैंने बच्चे को ऐसे डील किया था तो इस बार भी ऐसे होगा, या मेरा पहला बच्चा मैंने ऐसे डील किया था, मैं दूसरा बच्चा भी ऐसे डील करूंगा. दोनों बच्चे बिल्कुल अलग हैं. तो कंफर्मेशन बायस विल नॉट वर्क. You have to really question that, what is this child that I'm dealing with, and how, and what will work in this case. The next one is halo effect. Now I'll, which is one example is the child getting good marks is good to be friend with my child. So the previous example that we took on the previous slide is basically halo effect. That, जो टॉपर है वो बहुत ही अच्छा होगा, मतलब हमारे बच्चे के लिए जरूर बहुत अच्छा होगा. Generalizing one negative aspects of a person to all areas of performances. तो एक बार कुछ गलती हुई किसी से या बच्चे से, तो उसको आपने जनरलाइज कर दिया, तू बेटा तू ऐसा है, तू हमेशा यही करते हो, या किसी से भी जो भी रिलेशनशिप में आप हैं, कि एक बार गलती को आप जनरलाइज कर देते हो और उसको लेबल करने लगते हो कि ये ऐसा ही है. कई बार आपने सुना होगा कि किसी, बहुत पेरेंट्स के दो बच्चे होते हैं, तो हमेशा वो ये बोलेंगे मेरी बड़ी बेटी या बड़ा बेटा तो ऐसा है बट छोटी बेटी ऐसी है. हमेशा इट विल कम ईदर वन इन कंपैरिजन, एंड सेकंड जनरलाइजिंग and labeling those children. Always they will continue to label them throughout the childhood, and this labeling actually really creates a lot of trouble, which we'll discuss as part of comparison workshop. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that aspect. Next one is social comparison bias, which is comparing with friends, peers, उनकी सक्सेस, उनके बच्चे कैसे कर रहे हैं, वो कैसे कर रहे हैं, उनकी जॉब्स कैसे चल रही है, उनकी सैलरी क्या है, उनका मनी, various things. Based on that, we become biased that that is the right status to target, that is the right success to target, that is what my child should do, because that is the right thing to do, because everybody is doing, or that particular person is doing who I really believe that I want to compare with. Then conformity bias, which is सब कर रहे हैं तो मैं भी कर रहा हूँ, which is like everybody is sending the child to the coaching institute, so I have to also send. That's a norm. पहले 12th में भेजना होता था, अब 8th में भेजना होता है, तो that's a norm that everybody has to send the children to coaching institutes as soon as the child is in 8th standard. So that becomes a conformity bias. I'll just give you one example before I move forward. One of the parent came to me, and fortunately, they have been with me for long. They are good friends, in fact. So the child wanted to play cricket, for a lot of full-time cricket kind of, when the child was in 8th standard. Now, while cricket is a great sport, and a lot of fame and glory and money comes with cricket, and many people, many children, many adults are attracted to the game in our country. But ultimately, father being father, he said, I am not definitely ready that you start playing cricket full time and stop focusing on your studies. Then they happened to meet me, and we just started discussing. I requested the father to change the approach in that case, and I really ask him to reflect that what he's doing by saying no may not kind of leave the child to take his decision. it may create a rebellion, behavior from the child, and child will blame throughout the life that because of you I couldn't play the cricket, and now see, I'm not happy. So the father kind of changed the approach. What we did is that we took the child. We said, okay, let's explore. If you are really having the right potential, or you really want to kind of pursue this, you will decide. The decision is yours. But we'll mutually and together explore that, how and when and what you want to do. So the father took the child to the coaches, various coaches, help coaches assess him, give the feedback, very genuine and natural feedback about the skill of the child. And child started going to these coachings and various academies, and started finding out on his own, because the decision was left to the child. Started finding out that yes, while he might be very keen and interested in cricket, but maybe his strength doesn't lie there. And that is another topic that we can discuss sometime later, which is the purpose of education, and how the strength and the interest, at the intersection of his interest and his strength, is the best way to kind of pursue career. And child in this case, अपने आप child ने समझा कि मैं शायद मेरे लिए साथ में पढ़ाई करना भी जरूरी है, क्योंकि मेरा को लिखना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. आई एम वेरी गुड इन राइटिंग. So I just want to pursue my strength while I want to pursue my interest, which is cricket. So child ने अपने आप decision लिया. Child continue to study, and now it has been child has been beyond 12th. He's doing very well. He's still playing cricket, but yeah, he's doing very well in his strength area, which he's in fact writing blogs about sports because and cricket. So he's kind of merging the interest and his strength. And child is very happy with his father that he let him explore what actually he wanted and what should he do, rather than actually imposing his view based on his conditioning कि नहीं cricket खेलने से तुम्हारी जिंदगी खराब हो जाएगी. So that is what one example I could give. Now let's move to another reflection activity. Here again, I'll take a pause and give you some time to think. Can you please identify 2 or 3 conditionings that you may have or you may have passed to your children? I have given enough or many examples, but yeah, some of them are again here, choosing the subject or career options, food habits, rewarding the behavior on or the output that you want, या आपको जो चाहिए उसके बेस पे आपने उसको मैनिपुलेट किया कि ये आप करोगे तो ये मिलेगा. Choices of friends, role models, yeah, definition of success, which is your own understanding, or based on your own understanding, definition of success क्या है, ये आपने आपको अपनी कंडीशनिंग को उस पर पास करने की कोशिश की. तो ये तो मैंने कुछ एग्जांपल्स दिए, बट देयर आर, एज आई सेड, हंड्रेड्स ऑफ those examples more. Please keep thinking, reflect on it, and if you want to share on the chat box, that will be great. We'll love to hear what you think, if you have those conditionings, and how you would have passed to your children. Very good. We have started getting the responses. Some saying option 2, option 3, some saying food habits, some saying not getting up late. Yeah, it is very. I think it is very good point. We many times we kind of insist getting up early in the morning, and I'm not saying that getting up early in the morning is bad, but a child could also be a late sleeper. I mean, he may be now. Many times it has been seen the body works better in different time zones. In fact, some people are very, very energetic in the morning. Some people are very energetic in the night. Some people are very energetic in the afternoon. So there are different body types who kind of work differently based on the energy given by the day. Day has a different energy patterns, and how your body pattern suits that those energy patterns, actually it works on them. Now, definitely you have to understand the body of your child, and with the child, definitely it has that exploration has to happen along with the child. And getting up late cannot be enforced just because it is a unique, it is generally think that it is good, which could be good, but yeah, for that child it may not be, probably. So it's a very good, somebody kind of shared that, that bias or conditioning, was forced to the child. Sleep early, up early, uh, career options, screen time, not being late night, food habits. Yeah, absolutely. I know we all talk about good food habits, but if I've traveled to 65 countries, and आप दूसरे देशों में कहीं भी जाएंगे तो आपको पता लगेगा कि बहुत सारी फूड हैबिट्स हैं जो प्रॉब्ली हम अच्छा नहीं समझते, और वो लोग, उनकी लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी 85 ईयर्स है, हमसे, हमारे देश से भी ज्यादा है। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हर फूड खराब है, लेकिन आपकी बॉडी को क्या फूड सूट करता है, आई थिंक दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड दैट अगेन, मेरी बॉडी को क्या सूट करता है और मेरे बेटे की बॉडी को क्या सूट करता है, इट हैज टू बी एक्सप्लोर्ड इंडिविजुअली. We can enable and help the child, but yeah, it has to be explored, then only one knows that what is the right food for me, rather than imposing that, this is the right food and this is not the right food. So great, I think a lot of inputs are coming in, forcing for extracurricular activities, a lot of inputs are coming. So great, I think my request is just keep thinking about these conditionings that you believe are, you may have passed to your children, or you may have, and then keep questioning them that, what is it, whether, again I'm repeating, is it true, first of all, and even if it is true, is it true only for me, and let's explore what is true for my child. It is very, very important, and if we continue to do this, you will find that child is very, very comfortable with you. Child is thriving, child is able to explore, his ability to explore himself is much better, his spirit of inquiry is much better, he's able to solve his problem much better, rather than you helping all the time and bombarding and kind of imposing your views on that. So that will change the whole equation in terms of your parenting journey, and also the child personality that will come out of it. Now let's move forward. We have covered the first topic, which is conditioning and biases, and how not to pass them to your children. Now let's go to the next one, which is, am I doing the best for our children, for my children or my child? Now, before I again begin this one, I want to do an activity. Can you please think of one or two examples, and this is little similar to the homework that we gave yesterday, but yeah, it is a slightly different question. So just reflect on this, and if you want to share your answer on the chat box, that will be great. तो एक या दो एग्जाम्पल्स जो आपको आपको लगता है कि वेयर यू फील कि आप अपनी एक्सपेक्टेशन मीट नहीं कर पाए ऑफ बीइंग द बेस्ट पेरेंट, एंड उसने उस उन एग्जाम्पल्स की वजह से आपकी और आपकी बच्चे की रिलेशनशिप में क्या फर्क पड़ा. तो ये अगर आप, इफ यू कैन जस्ट रिफ्लेक्ट ऑन दिस एंड स्टार्ट शेयरिंग योर रिस्पॉन्सेज इन 1 or 2 लाइन, दैट विल बी ग्रेट. वेवलेंथ नॉट मैचिंग, वेरी गुड. एग्जाम्पल्स भी अगर आप दे सकते हैं तो बहुत अच्छा है, नहीं दे सकते तो कोई बात नहीं. आई नो समटाइम्स इट इज पर्सनल, बट अगर आप दे सकते हैं तो बहुत अच्छा है. won't share things which he shares with his dad. Okay, very good. तो आपको लगता है कि मैं अब बेस्ट पेरेंट होने नहीं हो पाई, और उस वजह से जहाँ पे भी आपको ऐसा लगता है वो आप दे सकते हैं. ऑथोरेटिव पेरेंटिंग, I'm a very good friend. Sometimes we are working, they want to be heard, they stop sharing. Okay, he's not open up with his father. Authoritative parenting sent my child to a shell. Okay, somebody is saying that authoritative parenting sent my child. So a lot of parents, this I continuously hear this, that authoritative parenting I used to do, and because of that my child is gone to the shell. This is a very, very common challenge. So a lot of things. So thank you. I think that this was basically primarily to do the reflection, this activity. Now, before I kind of go to the real cause behind this, am I doing the best and what does it do? I'll just again share a story. There was a parent who wanted to do the best for the child, and in that quest. पेरेंट जो भी अच्छी से अच्छी कोचिंग होती थी, क्लासेस होती थी, डांस की हो, म्यूजिक की हो, रोबोटिक्स की हो, जहाँ पे भी जो भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली, या उनको पता लगा उनके फ्रेंड्स के थ्रू या रिलेटिव्स के थ्रू या फैमिली के थ्रू कि ये क्लास हो रही है, वहाँ पे उस बच्चे को भेजा, चाहे वो एक्सपेंसिव हो, कितनी भी एक्सपेंसिव हो उसको, क्योंकि फादर और मदर बोथ वांटेड टू डू द बेस्ट फॉर द चाइल्ड. So, they wanted to do the best, and, they were actually sending the child to all these classes and coaching institutes and, various other places. Now, it is doing two things in that process. One, child may not need many of them, because child skill and strength and interest might be somewhere else. And without understanding what those strength and skill and interest are, you are just kind of imposing a lot of things to the child. Child be fatigued. Child थक जाता है, बच्चा समझ नहीं पाता ये हो क्या रहा है मेरे साथ. वो चला तो जाता है क्योंकि वो उसकी एज कम होती है, या उसको समझ नहीं आ रहा होता क्या होता है, या एक्साइटमेंट में चला जाता है कि उसका कोई फ्रेंड जा रहा है, उसके फादर के फ्रेंड का कोई बच्चा जा रहा है, उसके चक्कर में वो चला जाता है. लेकिन वो बाय द एंड ऑफ द डे वो बिल्कुल टायर्ड हो जाता है, फटीग्ड हो जाता है. एंड उस प्रोसेस में चाइल्ड कंफ्यूज भी हो जाता है कि मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि मैं क्या करूं, कहाँ पे फोकस करूं, कहाँ पे टाइम डिवोट करूं. सो वो चाइल्ड को बिल्कुल कंफ्यूजिंग स्टेट में ले जाता है. दूसरी बात, many times it has been seen that things like music, things like singing. Now, maybe the child is exceptionally talented, then one can understand maybe he or she needs a little bit of extra help, through those classes. But generally, music and singing and many of these things are for the soul. They are for calming our emotions. Enjoying to the core of our soul. जैसे ही हम उनको क्लासेस में भेज देते हैं कि सिंगिंग की जाओ और सीख के आओ, बेटर सिंगर बनो या बेटर डांसर बनो, सारा वो फन, उसका जो जितना सूदिंग फैक्टर है वो सब चला जाता है. एंड मैं आई हैव सीन सो मेनी केसेस वेयर बच्चे ने बोला आके कि मैं आज से बाद में कभी डांस नहीं करूंगी या करूंगा, या मैं कभी भी गाना नहीं गाऊंगा, क्योंकि इतना ज़्यादा फोर्स किया जाता है कि ये करो, वो करो, ये सीखो, वो सीखो. मैं पहले गाती थी, लेकिन वो गाना दूसरे पर्पस के लिए था, लेकिन अब मैं नहीं करूंगी बिल्कुल भी, क्योंकि ये बहुत ज्यादा बर्डनसम बन गया है. सो अब आप देखिए कि वो बच्चा जो गा रहा था, जो एंजॉय कर रहा था उस सिंगिंग को या उस डांसिंग को, वो पूरी लाइफ लॉन्ग के लिए अब सिंगिंग और डांसिंग को एक दुश्मन मानने लगता है. इट बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर चाइल्ड टू एक्सेप्ट कि डांसिंग इज फॉर जस्ट फन एंड एंजॉयमेंट एंड जॉय, and not for competition and not for betterment and etc etc. So this is what exactly happened. I just gave that example, but now I will just go one by one. What is it doing? We discussed that every parent wants to raise the best. Now the problem is, as we discussed, it puts a pressure on us as a parent, because हमको भी समझ में नहीं आता कि हम क्या क्या कर रहे हैं और हम कितना ज्यादा कर रहे हैं. एंड चाइल्ड पे तो प्रेशर बन ही जाता है, एंड इट स्टार्ट्स ट्रेनिंग द पेरेंट चाइल्ड रिलेशनशिप. Now, answer lies in the root of this expectation. When we say the best, actually हमारे दिमाग में वो best बैठा है किसी के comparison में. And again, as I said, day 3 we'll do the workshop on comparison, and we'll try to understand, what is it doing to us. But best की definition हम generally comparison के base पे बनाते हैं कि this is the best because we are seeing somewhere else this happening and giving good results probably, or whatever, and that is how we define the best. Now, it is not in the relevance to the child, what is right for the child, but it is in the relevance of the comparison. Now, the question that we should not be doing is, am I doing the best for the child? But the question should be asking is, what is best for my child? There is a huge difference between these two questions कि मैं अपने बच्चे के लिए सबसे अच्छा कैसे कर सकती हूँ वर्सेस कि या कर सकता हूँ, वर्सेस वो मेरे बच्चे के लिए अच्छा क्या है. और उस क्वेश्चन का आंसर जानने के लिए आपको उस बच्चे के साथ एक्सप्लोर करना पड़ेगा, उसके साथ टाइम बिताना पड़ेगा, उसके साथ उसको उसको एनेबल करना पड़ेगा, उसकी स्ट्रेंथ्स को, उसकी वीकनेसेस को, उसके चैलेंजेस को, स्ट्रेंथ को, इंटरेस्ट को एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए, क्योंकि बच्चों को भी कई बार नहीं पता होता है। तो कैसे वो एक्सप्लोर किया जाए, दैट जर्नी is very important, and that is the journey of childhood, that is the journey of life, in fact, that exploring and enjoying that phase of exploration and knowing more and more about ourselves. In that process, a lot of results will come. For sure, results happen when you are actually just enjoying the process. So that will happen for sure. But if we just start focusing on feeding the best and expecting the best, then definitely the result is going to be what we discussed and what we saw, that the child goes to the shell, child stops dancing or singing forever, etc., etc. Now, another one is, understanding your relationship with a child. Many times, because of so many things which have gone into the relationship for last so many years, whatever age your child is, चाहे आपका बच्चा 7 साल का है या 10 का है, 18 का है या 25 साल का है या 30 साल का है, कि आप उस रिलेशनशिप को समझे बिना एक कॉन्वर्सेशन में, लूप में घुस जाते हैं कि ये ऐसा है और मैं ऐसा हूँ। वो इमेजेस होती हैं जो एक दूसरे से बात करने लगती हैं, और वो रिलेशनशिप कभी डेवलप नहीं हो पाती। एक एग्जांपल आपको मैं फिर से देना चाहूँगा कि मेनी पेरेंट्स दे गिव वेरी गुड लेटेस्ट, let's say, mobile to the child. Now, whether child really needs that latest mobile, I mean, definitely the first question is whether child needs the mobile, and we'll discuss that, in day 4, when we are going to discuss the gadget addiction. But second is, does the child need the best of the mobile or best of the laptop, or is it your own quest to give, or aspiration to give, the best technology to your family, which is playing here while you are giving the best device or best brand to the child? Same is with the clothes, shoes, clothing, various things. Does the child need them, or you are actually giving it because you feel that my family should have the best of the brand? And in the process, now child is probably becoming addicted, then child starts becoming demanding, and then you will say कि child के साथ problem है, ये सारे दिन ये मांगता है या वो मांगता है, and I don't know how to deal with this. So a lot of things that we are doing in this process of am I doing the best for my child? And as I said, it is not am I doing the best for the child, but what is best for my child. So that is where I'll just probably move to the next activity. A kind of related activity, which probably I would request you to reflect and think, why doing the best for the child becomes a sense of achievement for ourselves. हमें हमारे लिए एक अचीवमेंट का सेंस क्यों देता है कि हम अब बच्चे के लिए बेस्ट करें, क्योंकि ये जनरली और रिलेशनशिप में नहीं होता, बट चाइल्ड के साथ जरूर होता है। कुछ ऑप्शंस यहाँ पे हैं, बिकॉज आई ओन द चाइल्ड, क्योंकि बच्चे को मैं ओन करता हूँ या करती हूँ, एंड इट इज़ माई ड्यूटी एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। ये मेरा पर्पस है, इट गिव्स मी द पर्पस एंड इट मेक्स मी थिंक दैट इट इज़ इन माई कंट्रोल। ये इसको बेस्ट करना मेरे कंट्रोल में है, या हेल्प्स बूस्ट माई ईगो, or I have more knowledge which can be used for the benefit of the child, or many other reasons that come to your mind. So anything, please reflect on this. आप सोचिए, और अगर अपना आंसर चैट बॉक्स में देना चाहें तो that will be a great thing. We'll just take a pause for a few seconds. One, which is I own the child and it is my duty and responsibility. Okay. Interesting. My purpose. Okay. Interesting. My life is for. Very good. See, a lot of these coming are from the same things. It is about me, and me, where, the challenge starts coming in, and not what actually child wants. Child want best thing. Now again, I'll repeat, child want best thing, what is best for him or her, or child want best thing that we define as the best. Please just keep thinking about that. So I'll leave you with these thoughts, but a lot of things are coming as comments. Thank you very much. I boost ego of the child. Okay. This is an interesting one. So a lot of things are coming. Thank you for giving the inputs. I'll leave you with these thoughts on this particular topic, that please think that it is not about me. In this case, it is about the child, and can I kind of see what is right for the child or what is best for the child, rather than what is the best thing that I think is the best or the way I define the best. So let's move on. The next one is the last topic of the day, which is, why do we have expectations from our children? Now, in the previous one, it is basically the expectation from the self. In this case, it is expectation from the children. That is what we are discussing. Now, let's understand various reasons. Why do we expect from our children? Why there's so much expectation in any relationship? Husband ki wife se, wife ki husband se, sisters ki, in every personal relationship. I mean, professional relationship mein to expectations hai, and many of them are defined, formally defined expectations. But in personal relationships also, why there is so much expectation always. And I have just tried to put few things that I have come across while interacting with thousands of parents, कि वो क्या सोचते हैं, but definitely आप क्या सोचते हैं वो भी अपना ऐड करिए chat box में, but we'll ask that question. But yeah, let's hear what others are thinking. With many of those parents that I have interacted with and we have interacted with and we have seen. So first one is expectation और rewards के बिना हमने कुछ सीखा नहीं है. अगर कुछ कर रहे हैं तो उसका कुछ रिवॉर्ड होना चाहिए, तो इसलिए एक्सपेक्टेशन है. दूसरा है, raising children is a hard work, emotionally and physically very exhausting. So definitely in return I need to expect something. तीसरा है, जो हमने पहले भी बोला कि we own the child and we also own the life of the child. तो बच्चे को हम ओन करते हैं, बच्चे की लाइफ को भी करते हैं, तो उसकी सारी खुशियां, सारे चैलेंजेस भी हमारे ही हैं. तो इसलिए एक्सपेक्टेशंस हमें रखनी चाहिए उसकी हैप्पीनेस और उसके चैलेंजेस से. Next one is, many said we have not understood what love and relationship means, and we largely take it as give and take. Something I give and something I take. So that is why I expect so much in any relationship, including from our children. Next one is, we compare with others' children and we start expecting the same thing from our children. We have discussed this earlier. We'll discuss this again tomorrow. But yeah, this is another thing that, why we expect from our children. We take them as medium to fulfill our unfulfilled dream. Because हमारे कुछ ड्रीम्स हैं जो फुलफिल नहीं हो पाए, तो अब बच्चा आ गया है तो उसके थ्रू लेट्स फुलफिल दोज ड्रीम्स, इसलिए हम एक्सपेक्ट करना शुरू कर देते हैं. अब ये सब जो चीज हो रही है, ये एज आई सेड, ये सब चीजें आई हैव कम अक्रॉस व्हाइल इंटरेक्टिंग विद द पेरेंट्स. इससे क्या होता है कि बच्चे के ऊपर इतना प्रेशर पड़ना शुरू हो जाता है कि बच्चा जो उसकी चाइल्डहुड है, जो पूरा उसकी एज है जिसमें वो ग्रो कर सकता है, एक्सप्लोर कर सकता है अपने आप को, they start getting burnt out, being burnt out. They start getting confused, or they start becoming rebellion. So either confidence lose हो जाता है या rebellion हो जाते हैं. And वो trait पूरी जिंदगी चलता है. आप देखेंगे कि adulthood में भी many of these traits continue. You start doubting everything, or you start becoming rebellion, or you start criticizing everything. So आपने देखा होगा अपने कुलीग्स में, अपने फ्रेंड्स में, कि इस तरह की हैबिट बहुत कंटिन्यू होती है कि हर चीज को क्रिटिसाइज करना, या हर चीज को में कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं रखना, या हर चीज में डाउट करना. तो ये सब चीजें वहीं से मैनिफेस्ट हो रही हैं जो हम बचपन में ये एक्सपेक्टेशन और वेरियस अदर थिंग्स व्हिच आर हैपनिंग. नाउ childhood is a time for free play and discovery, and if we rush through it through expectations, we rob them from this innocence, and unfortunately it doesn't come back. I mean, it comes back sometimes if the child starts becoming aware, or we start becoming aware, and then we start coming as an enabler to the child, or child finds another solutions to these problems. But childhood, which was the prime age to actually explore this, which is gone, unfortunately. So this is what I wanted to cover on why do we have expectations from our children. Now, one last activity, and then we'll go to the wrapping up this session and then take Q&A. Two activities here. First is, have I felt that expectation from self and my child are causing rift? I think this I don't want to kind of do because many of you said that yes, it pushed my child to the shell. It pushed the child to show a lot of resistance. So I'll skip this one. But yeah, the next one, can you close your eyes? Can I request all of you to close your eyes for a moment and visualize a life where you have no expectation from your children? How do you feel about that life? Do you feel that life is more blissful? So I'll just request you to close your eyes for a few minutes एंड देखें बिन बंद आंखों से कि वो लाइफ जिसमें आपकी कोई एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं है अपने बच्चों से, वो लाइफ कैसी है, इज क्या वो बहुत अच्छी लाइफ है या ऐसी लाइफ है जैसी अभी है। एक बार विजुलाइज करने की कोशिश करें। Okay, thank you. I think people have started saying or are giving answers. They are saying blissful. Most of the people are saying peaceful. Without expectations, life become very peaceful. I completely agree with all of you. I think here probably 100% comment is in line in the with the same, that without expectation, life is very, very blissful. So why don't we do it? And time is now to start today. Whichever age group your children are, just start it today. So great. Thank you very much for this last activity. Before we get into Q&A, tomorrow we are going to cover comparison, as we have been saying. The homework for tomorrow is that please think about those situations when you as a child were compared, जब आप छोटे थे और आपका कंपैरिजन हुआ करता था by your parents, by your teachers, by your relatives, by your parents, friends, etc., etc. Or now you're comparing your children or yourself. I mean, it is not just about your children, but you're also yourself. Like for choices like career, food, वैकेशंस, वैकेशन पे कहाँ जाना है, तो मेरा वो फ्रेंड वहाँ पे गया था या मेरा फ्रेंड के बच्चे वहाँ गए थे, those kind of things. And then comparing your children with others. So think about those situations. And when we discuss tomorrow, we'll ask you a lot of questions or help you with the reflection activities. And, these reflections or this homework will be very helpful and handy tomorrow. So that's all about today. Kashish ji, over to you. We can kind of get into Q&A.
Sure, sure, sure. I'm just trying to gather some questions. If anybody has any questions, please feel to put them so that we can answer them. Okay. Wow, people don't have questions today. You've put them into a thought procedure, I guess. What?
That's my goal, that when people start, they everything is kind of blissful, so that's the beauty of it.
True. What
Yeah.
about if we have expectations for our child? 1 second, I just missed the question. And not for us. What about if we have expectations for our child and not for us?
Yeah, I think that is another conflict that you're creating for yourself and your child. Expectation is expectation, whether you do it for yourself, your wife, your husband, or your child. It is the same thing. Child, see, and I want to take this opportunity to say this now. Children are very innocent when they come to this world. Every one of us, including us, when we came to this world, we were very innocent. We had huge amount of natural intelligence, which is God gifted. Unfortunately, what happens is that many of these things that we are discussing in these workshops, they kind of create layers on us, and we start becoming corrupted. We become corrupted, and those corrupted layers, they kind of condition us, and then conditioning kind of takes to what we are trying to discuss here. So अगर आप अपने से एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं करेंगे और बच्चे से करेंगे, बच्चा देखेगा कि कुछ मतलब अपने से तो नहीं करते या मेरे से करते हैं, ये डाइकोटोमी है, ये बहुत ही कॉन्फ्लिक्टिंग सिनेरियो है, या आर्टिफिशियल है। तो इसलिए ऑथेंटिसिटी, कशिश जी ने शुरू में बोला था और हमने डिस्कस किया था, ऑथेंटिसिटी जब ही आती है जब आपका बिहेवियर कॉमन है, यूनिवर्सल है। चाहे वो आप अपने आप से कर रहे हैं, अपनी स्पाउस से कर रहे हैं, अपने बच्चे से कर रहे हैं, वो सेम है। तो तभी आपका बच्चा आपसे अलाइन होगा और आपको साथ में एक जर्नी बनेगी।
Someone has mentioned that, but expectations do come. How do we deal with them?
just that is what we discussed in this session, that uh, the moment you are thinking about anything, including expectation, let's say you have this expectation that my child should come in top 5% of the class. And I'm just giving a very general scenario because all our children go to school and they go to, academics. Now you have to just start questioning before you start telling the child that, you should come in top 5 and I'll get you bicycle if and we'll have this topic in day 4, rewards and punishment. What does it do to us and our children? Before we do this, can we just question that where is this top 5% coming from? What happens to the rest of the 95%? Is it just in the race or in some quest to kind of get some positioning in our mind that top 5% is the only way to live life? And where has it come from? Is it really true? That is another question. And even if it is true, is that true for my child? Because my child might not be the top 5% of the class. He or she might be the top 30 percentile of the class, or 40 percentile. And it is absolutely normal. It is absolutely normal because there are 100% children and every child is a normal child. So how can it be that only 5% of the class is normal, who is actually topping the class, and rest 95% is not normal? Because 95% will still be there, even if your child comes in top 5%. So expectation, the moment it is coming, just start questioning it, and then you will find that you will have the answer.
You say also, like, this is something that just came up to my mind when you were explaining about this, was that could you say that expectations also develop when someone has like a parent was keeping that expectation from himself or herself, that they had to particularly reach that goal when they were in that age group, and they couldn't do it, so they were like, okay, so I can probably expect it from my child. Does that happen?
Yeah. I mean, we discussed this, that many times we try to fulfill our unfulfilled dreams through our children. And this is a recipe for disaster. Unfortunately, because child is meant for what child is meant for. And we have to find out. Every child, as I said, has huge potential. Whether child is in top 5% or not, child has a huge potential. All we need to do is just explore that potential, enable that potential, and help the child to pursue that potential. And you will find amazing results out of that. But if you keep pushing for top 5%, and if it is not the potential of 5%, it's going to be a recipe for disaster. So absolutely, fulfilling unfulfilled dreams through children is a recipe for disaster.
People have also written that guidance come out of expectations from them, how to go about it when they seek the guidance.
See, again, guidance is another form of sharing your views and conditionings. There is see, I just want to also say one thing, because many parents then come back to me saying that should we not just say anything? Should we just not give our views? That is not exactly what we are discussing here. What we are discussing here is that, do we first know the guidance that we are giving, where it is coming from in our mind? What is the source of this guidance? Second, can I question whether this guidance is right or not? And third, even if it is right for me, is it right for the child? Again, I'm repeating, these two are different entities. You and your child are different entities. Please don't think them that what is right for you is right for your child. And explore that with the child, that yes, let's see whether it is right for you. So when you are giving the guidance, if you're following these 3 steps, and you are giving the guidance to the child, then how the conversation will happen is totally different from the conversation happening today. The conversation today is happening, you should do this or you should not do this. This is the right way to do this. This is what the whole world is doing, or this is what I feel, or I strongly believe that is the right way to do. But the conversation should be happening is, somehow, what I have been learning is this, and sometimes it has worked for me, and let's explore whether it works for you or not. So when you are actually taking it in a questioning way to the child, first of all, child will be more receptive to hear you. And second, you and child both will explore together whether it is right for him, and it has to be done authentically. It cannot be done hypocritically. Many parents say that okay, ऐसा करते हैं कि मन में हमारे पास एक एजेंडा है जो हमें ले जाना है चाइल्ड को, बच्चे के डिसीजन को एक पुश करना है, लेकिन शुरुआत करते हैं बेटा तुम बताओ कि तुम क्या कहना चाहते हो, और वो बच्चा समझ जाता है, थोड़ी देर के बाद बच्चा समझ जाएगा। आप आए तो एजेंडा के साथ सोच के आए हो कि ये आज मेरे से आप चाहे किसी तरीके से बात कर रहे हो, ऐसा नहीं है। आपको आर्टिफिशियली नहीं करना है, हिपोक्रेटिकली नहीं करना है, नेचुरली करना है। अगर आप नेचुरली करोगे तो उसका आउटकम बिल्कुल अलग निकलेगा।
Yeah, so this is a very interesting question. I think I would also want to answer this. So someone has written how to teach discipline without expecting. I think by being disciplined, you can teach the teach the child to be disciplined, isn't it? Like I also read a very interesting quote today which said that if children are very good at imitating, so give them that good so that they can imitate.
Yeah, I mean, Kashiji, I think you answered, but I just want to add. See, again, what is your definition of discipline? Has to be questioned. And again, I'm saying it might be good. Waking up early at 5 o'clock in the morning might be a great habit. No doubt about that. But one, it might be great habit for you if you have explored and found out that. And second, is it a great habit for your child? Does it work for his body type, his mind type, etc., etc.? Second, child may not know and you may not know. So let the exploration happen. Let the child try to wake up. Let's say, I mean, as a question, if you can discuss with the child and say, let's try 7 दिन, 5 बजे जाके देखते हैं, 7 दिन 7 बजे जाके देखते हैं, 7 दिन 8 बजे जाके देखते हैं कैसा तुम्हारा दिन गुजरता है, कैसी तुम्हारा एनर्जी लेवल जाता है। अगर आप ऐसे करेंगे चाइल्ड को खुद ही समझ में आ जाएगा कि 5 बजे के बाद मेरा एनर्जी लेवल बहुत अच्छा रहता है, अगर उसकी बॉडी टाइप वो है। लेकिन अगर आपने बोला नहीं 5 बजे जागना है, कल को सुबह ही उठा दूंगी, मैं उठा दूंगा, तो बच्चा या तो उठेगा नहीं, या उठेगा तो वो ड्रैग होगा उसके। आपने देखा होगा बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स सुबह को 1 घंटे का रूटीन रहता है कि 5 बार जगाएंगे, 10 बार जगाएंगे, 15 बार जगाएंगे। उसके बाद 15 बार जगाने के बाद 40 मिनट के बाद बच्चा जागेगा, जो कि टाइम से 40 मिनट आगे है। उसके बाद 5 मिनट 20 मिनट बचेंगे स्कूल जाने के लिए, और उस 20 मिनट में सब कुछ होगा फिर। सो उस प्रोसेस से कोई फायदा नहीं हो रहा है। आप 1 घंटा पहले शुरू कर रहे हैं, लेकिन वो मिलेंगे आपको 20 मिनट ही। लेकिन अगर आप बच्चे को छोड़ेंगे कि लेट्स ट्राई, आप 7 दिन ट्राई करो बेटा कि क्या होता है, कि 6:40 से आपको खुशी ज्यादा मिल रही है कि 20 मिनट में भाग भाग के आप काम कर रहे हो, या 6 बजे जाके आपको वो खुशी मिल रही है। आप देखो 6 बजे, आप 7 दिन करके देखो, और लेट चाइल्ड एक्सप्लोर दिस। आई एम वेरी श्योर चाइल्ड इज इंटेलिजेंट एनफ टू डिसाइड कि यार 1 घंटा पहले उठने से तो मजा आ गया, मैं बहुत रिलैक्स वे में जा रहा हूँ, माँ बाप से बात भी कर सकता हूँ, ब्रेकफास्ट भी बहुत आराम से कर सकता हूँ, बहुत कुछ अच्छा कर सकता हूँ। लेकिन आप क्योंकि उसको पुश कर रहे हैं पिछले 15 साल से या 10 साल से, तो अब चाइल्ड को एक ही तरीका पता है, मम्मा 5 मिनट, मम्मा 10 मिनट, मम्मा 15 मिनट, और उसके बाद वो 20 मिनट बचती हैं, वो तैयार होने।
Amazing. I think we have a lot to discuss in the next few days as well. So I don't want to take this really forward because there are a lot of questions again on expectation and how to go about with it if we don't expect. Okay, one last question we can take is please explain difference between guiding and influencing a child.
There is nothing, no, both are almost same. As I said, whether you are trying to influence or you are trying to guide with a agenda in mind, both are same. But if you're trying to guide in with the agenda of exploration, then it is great. Uh, 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 Influencing, definitely, then you have the agenda which you want to kind of pursue. In some cases, it is okay. I mean, somebody was asking me कि 4 साल का बच्चा है, वो नहा नहीं रहा है, 5 दिन से नहाया नहीं है. Definitely, in that case, you have to influence. You have to go for your influencing skills to make the child take the bath. But अगर चाहे बच्चा बड़ा हो गया है and he for some reason he is not taking bath, then you have to kind of help him understand that what does it lead to. There are many things. What does it mean to be unhygienic? What kind of allergies can happen? This is what has happened to many others. Let's see if you want to try it out on your body, that 5 दिन नहीं नहाएंगे, 10 दिन नहीं नहाएंगे. So guidance is about exploration and helping the child to decide himself or herself. Influencing is kind of going with the agenda.
right. Okay, this seems to be a critical one, but this definitely is the final question. I don't want to, take too long. How to handle if kids are suffering from ADHD when we know short-term memory problems are there then?
See, technically, I'm not a technical guy to talk about ADHD, so I would not be able to make the technical comment. Uh, but if the child uh, is can be dealt in the normal way, then authentic parenting is the best way, which we discussed yesterday, whether in the case of adopted child or in the case of some of these challenges that we face. It is very authentic parenting is the very good way to kind of go ahead to deal with this. Telling the child, helping the child understand what does it mean, why it is happening to the child, be very open, very communicative about these things, and that is a way. But yeah, if medically there is an intervention required, I'm not the technical guy on that, so I would request to kind of seek the medical interventions.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Nikhil sir, once again for such a super informative session. And everyone, let's reflect again on whatever we got to learn from him today. And yes, on the final day, we will take up a little more questions. But as for today, good time to reflect, take some rest, spend some time with your family and your kids, and we will see you all tomorrow. And thank you so much, Nikhil sir. Bye. Good night.
Thank you everyone, good night, and we'll see you all again tomorrow. Bye bye.
Bye. Back in team, we can end the meet. Thank you.